Made the first play of the season.
Okay.
Like, as in first tackle?
Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. That was my cadence.
I like that. You got to give him the fake clap, too.
Get offside.
Get JB to jump.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Anyone can answer any question anytime. Sometimes I'll direct some of them to you one-on-one, but feel free to chime in, ask anybody else something. Let's go around. Who was the first person to put a football in your hand?
My mom. Actually, it's my cousin Barron. Debo, we call him Debo, but he was the first person to put football in my hand. Yeah.
My dad, probably at 3 or 4 years old.
I think I probably came out the womb with a football, knowing my pops. He was probably in the weighing room weighing with one, but it was my pops for sure.
For me, definitely my dad. Probably about 3, 4 years old also.
What was your earliest memory either playing or watching the game?
For me, I remember just I played for the Parkville Patriots. That was my first ever football team. I played running back. I was one of the tallest ones on the team at that time. I was one of the tallest ones on the team.
I say that didn't last for long.
I just remember my coaches, he telling me every single thing to do. He telling me where to go. He told me, run this way, you're gonna score right there. And I actually remember doing that the next play. That's the earliest memory I have.
JB?
For me, in Connecticut, it's called Mighty Might football. We don't really have Pop Warner in Connecticut. It's all based off what town you live in. So when I first started, I was playing guard and nose tackle.
The X on your, you had the X on your helmet, bro? You was overweight?
Yeah. His head.
No, I was never overweight.
By the way, that's good. Chime in with stuff like that. That's fine. Anyone can make it.
Yeah, you want to
comments.
make fat jokes? We can do that. We could do that if you'd like. No, but I was playing right guard and nose tackle, and we were getting whooped first game, and then I switched at halftime to running back, and I scored the first time I touched the ball. So it was a pretty cool memory. And then I played running back for a little bit, and then coach's kids started playing quarterback and running back, so then I had to switch again, but that's okay.
You never went back to nose tackle?
No, it's pretty nasty at nose tackle, though, I ain't gonna lie. Like you talking about jumping snap counts. Yeah.
Okay.
Blowing up the center, back into the
Oh,
quarterback.
no, I didn't even touch him.
Oh, swim move.
Yeah, right by it.
Nice.
Out of there.
Scoop and score?
Nah.
I knew my first game that I was playing quarterback and middle linebacker, and in youth football, it's a struggle to score. And we were tied 0-0. They had the ball at the 1 yard line last play of the game. I got ran over in the A gap, and they scored to win the game. At that point, I knew I was going to be a quarterback and didn't want to have anything to do with defense.
That's hilarious. My memory is sort of similar to Marlowe's. We had a jamboree game when I was like 7. It was like my first time in full pads. And, we was young. Thinking of it now, we probably shouldn't be in full pads that young, but it happened. I got like a toss sweep, and I took it 70, and it was actually on the high school field that I played on in high school. So, yeah, that was my first memory of football, most definitely.
JB, Marlowe, what drew you guys to Syracuse initially?
For me, Coach Babers, he's seen a lot in me in high school. I wasn't like a big recruit guy. I only had 2 Power 5 offers. But really just with him and how family-oriented he was, just about how much he talked about the coaches and how the coaches bringing their kids to the facility and things like that. It felt like home to me. I was comfortable coming up in here. And he was comfortable with me changing from running back to linebacker. I played running back my whole high school career, and all my offers were running back. So him being comfortable with me, saying he just wanted me on his team to go play linebacker, that's all I needed from him, for sure.
Pretty similar situation for me. A lot of my offers were on different sides of the ball coming out of high school. I had some on offense, some on defense, but Coach Babers, he said he just wanted me on the team too, so he gave me the option to pick who I wanted to play. I ultimately came in a receiver and made that switch pretty quickly, but, him being family-oriented and, giving us a choice just because he wanted us on his team was important for me.
You guys are the more experienced Orange in this room, of course. November 28th, 2023, Fran Brown is hired as the new head coach of the program. What was your initial reaction?
Honestly, out of all of the names we were hearing, I was happy it was Coach Brown, because I heard a lot of good things about him from back at home in Maryland, and just from guys on the team from Jersey, they all say good things about him. I was happy about it, but I didn't know yet what I was going to do. So just having conversations with him, my first meeting with him went great. How he was, he had everything planned out, and at the end of our meeting, he let me know he was flying out to go see Kyle. I looked at him. I said, Kyle not coming here from Ohio State. I swear that's what it was. And he said, all right, watch this. He literally got on a flight right after that to go fly to wherever Kyle was, and that was crazy to me. And once Kyle committed, I was like, oh, he was serious about that.
How about you?
Yeah, I didn't know what to think at first, honestly. You know, all I heard about him was from the guys on the team. Everyone in Jersey knew of him or knew him personally. But, you know, I had my transfer paperwork filled out already, just because I didn't want to play in the 3-3-5 again. And I needed to be in a different defense where it would be projectable for me to go to the NFL. Thankfully, I had the conversation with him. You know, I don't know if it was the day of or the day after he got hired, but he was not going for the transfer paperwork. You know, so he came up here, sat down with him, talked with him on the phone a couple of times, and, you know, ended up being the right situation for me to stay.
Meeks, you were at UGA with Fran. He gets hired here as the head coach. What was the process like for you to go from Georgia to come here to Syracuse?
The process was actually pretty fast, man. I committed like a week after I hit the transfer portal, because I already knew who Fran was as a person. And I was like I tell everybody, Fran was seeing me work like at Georgia. Like he was seeing me like stay behind the scenes, and you know I wasn't really getting no real tick up there on offense. So, but he seen me improve from the end of my freshman year to when he first got there to the end of my junior year. So he's seen 2 years of improvement. And honestly, man, he told me that I was gonna come up here and I was gonna actually have a big impact on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't gonna just be the special teams guy or the energy guy. I was actually gonna play offense. And yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. I just wanted to play, bro. Like, man, I was tired of really running down, crashing out, then coming back to the sideline cheering. So
How was that mentally though, being that guy and when you wanted to be the offensive guy?
I mean, honestly, bro, like y'all know me. I ain't really selfish, but at the same time, it's like you have expectations for yourself. And I knew what I was doing in practice. I knew what I was doing to the one defense or to their top, like, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying sitting there like I'm winning every rep, but I'm winning my reps, you know what I'm saying? I'm winning a good amount of reps. So I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I should be able to play, like, because I see this dude over here who's playing this, not winning this. He's dropping this pass, doing this. And of course, in the back of my mind, bro, I was angry a lot, but I never showed it because that wasn't gonna do anything good for me, bro. And at the end of the day, it worked out because me not going into the building angry as I was when I got home, like Coach Kirby talked to the scouts about that. Like he always did it the right way. Like he didn't come in with attitude, he didn't come in with all the extras. So it worked out, bro. But yeah, it was hard, bro. It definitely was hard.
Kyle, Fran has told the story a million times now about flying to Columbus, right, to your apartment there and telling, and Marlowe just said it too. He told Marlowe, I'm going to go and get Kyle McCord. What's your memory of that moment?
I didn't even know that he got the job at Syracuse at first, because I mean we had just lost to Michigan, and like I wasn't on my phone or anything like that when he got hired. So I put my name in the portal at midnight that Monday, that first day the portal opened. I had no idea who was going to hit me up, where the interest was going to be coming from. And obviously I've known Fran for a few years at that point. So he called me, he's like, I'm at Syracuse now, like, you know, let me come see you tonight. And I'm like, are you like in Ohio? Like, are you close? And he's like, no, I'm in Syracuse. I'm gonna come fly and see you. And so literally that night, that Monday night, Coach Fran and Coach Nuns were sitting in my apartment telling me why I should come to Syracuse. And it was just crazy, like everything that he was telling me how it was gonna be. Fast forward a year later, it's exactly what it was. So it was cool to kind of see that moment that we had together come full circle.
So you didn't even know that he had been hired here?
I had no idea. Like when I tell you I didn't go on my phone at all for that whole week, I had no idea until he first called me that Monday. So yeah, it was wild. It was a quick turnaround.
Which one was worse, that loss or the Georgia loss?
That loss. I didn't play against Georgia. I mean, you know how it is. Like I'm happy that we win, but when we lose, I'm like, I mean, there's nothing that I could have done.
Facts.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can we talk about how when you came on your visit, They didn't show you any of the facilities?
Oh, yeah. So
My next question was going to be, what were your first impressions of QB1? So
Yeah.
yes, let's get
I
into
got
it.
a story after, but tell that story
about
first.
Dan.
Yeah. go ahead.
So when I first got here, like I told him before I even came, I was like, I don't need to be up here that long. Like I don't need to do the whole uniform photo shoot thing. Let me see the facilities, let me talk to the coaches, be around the guys a little bit. Like that's all I need to see. So it was Coach Hicks actually giving me my tour. So we drove around Syracuse, the town a little bit. Went to the indoor. I think they were practicing for the bowl game. And then we came over to the facility, and they walked me through the hallway, and then into like the little like common players lounge area. And then we walked out and left. So I didn't see the locker room, training facility, anything. And so I mean, coming from Ohio State, like I guess it was kind of. Just me not knowing what other schools are like. I just assumed that every place was a super nice facility. And then when I showed up in January, after I signed and committed already, I was like, okay, this is why they didn't show me the facilities, the wooden lockers and the small little training room. But I mean, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't going to make or break my decision, but yeah, that was good strategy by Coach Fran, purposely not showing me that, leaving it up to imagination.
Thankfully, we got the new facility now. We're sitting in the players' lounge. So for the next era, they're going to have something nicer to work with.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice.
First impressions, QB1 gets to town. What were you thinking?
Honestly, like there's a stigma about like quarterbacks transferring from big schools, so that's what we thought he was going to be like. And he didn't really help himself out at first when I first met him. We were at dinner. Do you remember where we were?
Something Hill, Heritage Hill?
Heritage Hill.
Yeah.
And it's all the recruits and all the hosts. And I'm sitting there because, a bunch of us were there just to see the quarterback, who's going to be the quarterback of our team. Were you there too? Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sitting down, and he goes, "Oh, you went to Michigan, right?" I said, "Nah." He said, "You're not Dan Villari?"
I mean, to be fair, they had the sleeve tattoo with the hat on. Like it was.
I don't think I was wearing a hat, brother. It's okay though.
It was hard to tell.
So I was a little upset at first. His face got really red.
Yeah, I felt bad.
I mean, if you kind of zoom in now, you can see it a little bit.
I felt bad. I still feel bad about that, but
No, it was funny though. But quickly after that, we kind of talked, and I think we were texting a little bit right after because you committed silently that
when
night.
I was here.
So we were talking a little bit after that, but we grew close pretty quickly.
Who committed first out of you two guys?
It was me, but I was about to say I think my first interaction with
before you
Kyle,
even
I
visited.
definitely instantly went to talking shit about the Georgia Ohio State loss, and then he hit me with the, "Now you was on the field." I was like, he on special teams. I had more stains on my jersey than he did. But yeah, that was my first memory of Kyle. But like I said, I committed. The portal opened on the 4th. I committed on the 11th or the 9th. It was fast. So, and like Kyle said, I ain't come up here to take pictures and all that extra stuff. I just came up here to see about the
Hibachi in the
facilities and
dome.
the guys for real.
You're the first one to have hibachi in the dome.
Yeah, and that hibachi was terrible, yo. It was really bad.
The pictures look good. I'll tell you that. We were all like, damn, Fran got hibachi in the dome. We never seen anything like this before.
That's another argument, bro. I always had that argument with Fran. Down south food is better than up north food. Like down south hibachi, you could go anywhere. and they
Depends
won't
what
miss.
you get.
They won't miss down
It
south.
depends what you
hibachi.
get.
I'll give y'all pizza.
Definitely.
Just Connecticut.
Oh, Jersey.
Jersey, pizza.
Are you coming with us? We're gonna go April 1st, Connecticut. Get some
What's your
pizza.
Connecticut
pizza.
What's your Connecticut pizza spot?
Modern
Colony Grill?
Brothers.
What did you tell me? But you
Right.
told me to go when I was in Connecticut. you
Pepe's,
told-
because you were right by Hartford.
I be
That
saying
was the closest
Dave
one.
Portnoy be saying Connecticut got the best.
You wrong.
I don't
Jersey.
know.
Have you ever had Connecticut pizza?
Colony Grill.
See, you're not going nowhere.
Pepe's.
good.
I've had Pepe's too.
Pepe's is smooth.
Pepe's was good though. I ain't gonna lie.
What's your spot in Jersey?
I'm a flatbread pizza though.
it's like the hole in the wall spots. Angelo's is good. I mean, there's not a lot of great pizza up here, but there's some good spots up here too. I haven't been to Connecticut, so I can't weigh in on that.
That'll be a next segment another time. At what point did you guys know that this group had the opportunity to be special?
We got asked this yesterday too. I don't want to give the same answer, but I feel like that was it. For me, I said yesterday is the midnight workout. You know, every year, especially us, me and Marlowe were talking about it yesterday too, but, you know, everybody thinks they're going to have a great year every single year. And especially here, we thought every year was going to be different. We thought it was going to change, but, you know, we just kind of got stuck in the mud.
I understand. Nothing.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But the turning point kind of was that midnight lift. You know, you saw everyone rally around each other and get closer, and you're lifting in groups in your position group, and the whole team's in there at once, and you just kind of felt that bond in that connection moment. And really, it was before we went in the lift was the most important part. And I'll give you guys a clip to add in just because he wants to keep talking trash right now of him rapping in the locker room in front of the entire team. So I'll give you that one to add in.
No, him knowing that song that went viral that he was singing in the locker room, I was really surprised by that. I didn't know Kyle was going to know that word for word.
Subtle foreshadowing.
I was going to say, I think that came around a few months later and the whole world got to see that. But that was night one. That was the midnight lift, you're saying?
Mm-hmm. So he been showed us he knew all that word for word though.
Hey, I don't know. That's a tough question, bro. I don't know. The burning of the shoe was probably my favorite moment of the year.
Oh, that was a
it
good
was
one.
it was like, I don't know. Fran got this way of making everything feel serious.
Serious in a good way, serious in a stressful way?
Either
In
way.
a stressful way. But sometimes it's.
Is that dart right there, or is that the detail?
Yeah, you always got to be dark. He always got to be dark. But, nah, man, the burning of the shoe was really cool because it felt like it was burning like all the previous history, like not the bad history, of course, but like, you know, just the past few years, like of the bad football and just not living up to what the expectations of what they thought they was gonna play to. And I feel like everybody took that moment serious. Like, normally, you know, you'll see freshmen back in the back talking and laughing and doing funny stuff. You didn't see none of that. All the freshmen was locked in, listening to Fran. Everybody took it serious, and that was my turning moment. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to war, like, for all these.
What's that process like? Have you guys done that before? What was that moment like for somebody that wasn't there?
It was definitely emotional. I heard that it was something that they did in the past, a tradition, but it died off. Me and JB never did that in our years, so I like that Coach Fran brought it back, and he let one of the his name is Kyle. He was an equipment guy. He let him walk up and talk about it and things like that. So that was definitely nice. And me saying it right, everybody was locked in. Everybody really was thinking about their own past and what they wanted to burn away in the fire and just
Behind them.
Yeah, leave behind them and just let all that go and just start a new chapter.
So you would write something down on a piece of paper, or you
It's
would,
like, so you had an old pair of cleats, and basically you threw the old pair of cleats into the fire, and like it's burning away all the previous, like, just like the bad things that, you know, that you feel like happened to you. And actually for me, I had recently broke my foot, so I was coming back from that, and I was I wasn't having the best. The fall camp didn't start then, but I wasn't having the best fall camp. And for me, that really, like, it reset everything. Like, it felt like I was really burning away all the bad stuff, all the, you know, the years at Georgia that I wasn't living up to where I know I could be. And yeah, that was big. That was big for me, though. I appreciated that moment. Yeah.
For me, it was kind of similar to that, you know, coming from a new school, you know, some ups, some downs, and obviously didn't leave with the best experience, so just burning all that away, kind of putting that behind you, and then, you know, putting your focus on the future. And that was right before the season too, during fall camp. And like Marlowe was saying, like, everybody really seemed to buy into that moment. And I mean, I knew we were going to be good, just like talent-wise on paper. Like, you look across the board, I think we had one of the best rosters in the ACC. So I knew we were going to be good there, but knowing that each guy was really bought in and committed to the vision that Coach Fran was talking about, that was really when I knew that we were going to have a shot to be pretty good that year.
You said Coach Fran has a way of making things feel serious. One of the questions I have, obviously everyone knows DART and what it means and what it stands for. What's your favorite Coach Fran-ism? So something he says, something he does, something that will stick with you after you leave.
I can't say that.
I'll say this. I'll say when I first met Coach Fran, what we were just talking about when he came and flew in to see me in Columbus, I I first saw him and like obviously dapped him up because I hadn't seen him in a while. He's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm good, coach." And obviously, I mean, I just lost the biggest game of my life. And he looked at me, he's like, "Don't give me that BS answer." And I was like, "No, like I'm doing well." And like I was so used to just like putting on like that kind of face, you know, in front of coaches and just, you know, acting a certain way. He was like, "I don't want that BS answer. Like I don't need that." And then like we were talking later on that night, and I was like, I just felt last year like sometimes like I was playing not to make a mistake. Like I was out there just not trying to throw an interception or whatever. And he looked up. He was like doing something on his iPad, and he looked up and he said, "Well, if you do that, we'll go 6-6 this year." He's like, "You need to let that thing go." So just having that mindset change of just being yourself, being more authentic, not worrying about making mistakes, and just going out and playing free. I know, like I definitely felt that on the field, and I'm sure all the other guys did as well.
That just wasn't the question at all.
I mean,
He can't say Coach Fran saying, man.
It's internal. You can still say
yeah,
it.
bro. Like be yourself.
We're not going out.
Exactly.
He's the boss of all this. We're not going to go out there and put anything out there or anything
I know
crazy.
you want to say it. Go ahead. You can say something. Meeks.
He got
I mean, you can't even. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be.
that's my favorite one. That's the first thing that popped in my head. You can't go out there and play soft, man. You got to go out there and play with a chip on your shoulder. The quarter shit was monumental. That was hilarious.
Say that. What's that
Quarter.
about?
So Coach Fran, you know, he's big on building you as a man outside of football, not only in football. So he wants you to go to class. He wants you to sit in the first two rows. He wants you to make sure you have a good relationship with your teacher. So like if you ever need anything, no phones, no hoods, sit upright, don't sleep in class. He really doesn't like you he really doesn't like the extracurricular activities like, you know, smoking, drinking, like none of that. So he's no nonsense. And if you got caught doing any of that, he's taking a quarter of your NIL check. And if you do it twice, he's taking a half.
What about you do it 3 times?
Like,
Wow.
oh yeah, then you do it 3 times, you know, you got 75. Then you got the whole
That's the quarter system.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, man, Coach Fran is definitely, he's had a lot of sayings that he's just like, wow, he just said that. Okay, yeah, cool, bet, let's go.
Favorite memories from this season can be on the field in a game, can be off the field, out of a game. Just what are some of the things that you think back to reflecting on the year you just had?
I don't want to say the Miami game because I feel like that's the easy answer. But any moments in the locker room where like it's just us and there's no cameras, no coaches, like it's just the guys. Like some of the funniest moments are when Deuce and someone else is rap battling in the locker room, or like all the Jersey dudes have a dance battle. And like it's just funny, like just being around them all and just enjoying everyone letting loose and just being themselves. Like that's a special moments about a locker room that like I'll miss about college. And you know, I already did miss it while I was gone for 2.5 months, like just being around the guys, for sure.
So yeah, definitely being comfortable in that locker room and just being around your guys. That's something we're gonna forever gonna miss. But those dance battles, guys putting the gloves on, like us guys just being us putting the gloves on, little boxing matches. We had one of our smallest receivers beat one of our biggest old linemen up. So that was.
I'm not gonna name names.
That was
legendary.
Yeah, that was legendary. That was a great time.
I wasn't expecting that shit.
But they never got to see Marlowe dance. Did you ever dance while they was here?
No, I ain't never going down.
I can tell you ain't got no rhythm.
I know, I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
How about you?
I'm gonna say Miami. I don't care, cause that's the first time that I've ever been like in the middle of like the field getting stormed. Like, it's even win or loss. Like it's never been a field storm like while I was playing. So that was a cool experience. And I think I was on the field for like 1 hour and 45 minutes after the game. Like I couldn't move. Like it was random kids. I couldn't say no to the kids. Then the parents would come up behind and be like, they'll look and they'll ask for their kid, and it's like. You saying for the kids, so I can't say no. But nah, that was my favorite experience from this year. But like they said, of course, the locker room and all the other stuff was great. But I think that's my biggest memory. That's one of my biggest memories.
Underrated game from last year I thought was UNLV because it wasn't a conference game, so it kind of flies under the radar. But going out to Vegas, we went out, played on Friday, went out Wednesday. Just being out there, kind of like the anticipation leading up to the game, and obviously an overtime win on the road against a top 25 team. especially with that long flight home. Like, that's even more important. I'd probably say the locker room after the UNLV game was a lot of fun. Everybody was amped up. So that's probably one of the more underrated memories from last year.
Okay, what was y'all worst memory?
From last year?
I said we know yours. I said we know Kyle's. From
last year?
What was y'all worst memory?
I mean, mine getting hurt. Probably for me, definitely game 1. I feel like I was playing really good. I feel like my body was feeling good. I had a sack already. I had a TFL already. I was playing good. And out of nowhere, the injury. So that's definitely
Because
my worst.
Richard built like a 2x4. Strong ass legs.
What I had that as one of the questions as well. Marlowe's injury, coming back. You mentioned yesterday publicly you weren't playing at 100% for most of the season, and I think you guys all knew that, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of toughness did he show coming back, being able to contribute during the latter half?
That Baltimore toughness, man. That's what they do down there in Baltimore. The Degans and the Tegans.
I still remember going in because Pitt was the first game he came back against. And I remember like seeing him on the field like in pads, and I thought like he was just like doing like rehab and stuff like that, like getting ready like, to come back later on. Like no, he's going this week, and to know like what he went through and just to see like how hard he pushed himself and then to rush back for that and knowing he wasn't playing 100%. I think it meant a lot to the guys just for him to even be out there, and then to play the way he did at the last half of the season. It was good to see.
Yeah, adding on to that, just like even seeing him at practice when, he wasn't cleared to run yet, but he knew that he wanted to play in that Pitt game, so he was trying to do anything to get himself, like he was boxing, sitting down, boxing, trying to get himself in condition, just to be able to play in that Pitt game, just because he knew that was his landmark, like that's when he wanted to be back, but he couldn't run yet. Or even sitting down doing the battle ropes, like just little stuff like that, and the selflessness that goes into it. And coming back to, like, he could have just sat out the rest of the season. He was good. All this stuff's been on tape for 4 years now. But to come back and finish strong and do it with his brother, it's really special.
And now that we're talking about Marlowe, about that injury, bro, now that I think about it, my worst memory of the year, bro, was y'all remember when I first came back from my foot and they made me do the 300-yard shuttle?
Oh my God.
Bro, that was death. Like, so I had first came back from my foot.
You gotta
my foot
explain
injury.
what the shuttle is.
And a 300-yard shuttle is, you got 60-yard sprints, but you got 5 of them, and you have to go in a certain amount of time limit. It was like 58 seconds or 59 seconds you got to do it. And I wasn't running for 2 months. We was in Cali. I was eating burgers and Krispy Kreme donuts.
Nah, you had In-N-Out every day. Fam.
Like, yeah, I was wilding out there. I came back like 220 something. But I couldn't walk, I couldn't move, I couldn't do nothing. So I was chilling. And my first day back getting cleared, I was joking around. I was like, man, I can run, I can do this. I was like, okay, bet, you go run then. And I was like, no, I was just joking. They was like, no, go run. I was like, okay. So I make the first one. I'm like, okay, man, I'm good, man. It's easy. Second one come. It's like the third time down. The legs start getting heavy. So I tried to touch the line. Boom. I come back up. I hit a little stumble. That little stumble ended up messing me up. I missed the second one by 1 second. So I think we only had 2 that day. But if you missed, you had to run another one. So I was sad, man. I was sad because I missed 2 of them by 1 second, and that day. But I was pushing my hardest, and I came back. I got a picture. I'm almost to tears, like my face running like this. I'm like, and everybody telling me to get off my knees. I want to cuss everybody out. I'm like, bro, leave me alone. Da, da, da.
And you want to make fat jokes earlier.
When I was on the bike, I was talking mess to Kyle, and it was like 100 degrees outside. It was hot. But I was on the bike. I was like, man, Kyle, run. Da, 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 da. Kyle said some crazy shit to me. He was like, bro, you on the bike, bro. Shut the fuck up. Da, 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 da. And I was like, okay. He was like, when you get out here, you better make every time. Like, okay, I got you. Yeah, I didn't make any of those times though. But nah, that day was bad.
You just keep making stuff up too.
How?
Never been 100 degrees in Syracuse.
It felt like 100 degrees.
You want to make
Did it not
fat
feel like
jokes,
100
but
degrees
you're the
in
one who
some-
missed the times.
Huh?
You want to make fat jokes, but you're the only one who missed the times.
I know. I
Krispy
did miss
Kremes
those
do it
times.
to you.
You should have been running with the mids.
I was 220 something.
I
bro.
know.
That's a lot of weight, bro.
What was it like, this group especially, there was such a mesh of the old guys, the new guys, How are you guys all able to get on the same page so quickly?
Yeah, no choice.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, we're with each other every minute of every day. You know, whether that's starting in January when they all first got here, or in the summer. Like in the summer, we're with each other all day because there's nothing else to do in the summer. But you know, it's
Fall
when we knew
camp
what
too.
Huh?
Tell them about fall camp.
Bro, why you keep doing that? Why you
I
looking
don't know. He keeps making
Why
that
you
face, bro.
These two only.
Bro, JB is the biggest hater on the team. I'm saying that, okay, he's the biggest hater on the team. But no, I'll say it then. Fall camp, that was their first time like moving out of their apartment, actually having to live somewhere as a team for fall camp. And Coach Fran took it from Coach Kirby because that's what we used to do. But we was all together, like every day, like 24/7. You didn't have no car. You couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't have no girls over. So we had no choice but to like deal with each other. But yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was
We
that was
was
just funny.
grinding over here hard and had to walk back to our apartments at 9:30, 10 p.m.
That was a new, for the Cuse guys, this was a new thing.
Oh yeah. And the breaks weren't long enough. Like you usually get like a 2-hour break, but it wasn't long enough to walk back because we didn't have cars to drive back and be back there. So we all just stayed here and like played cards or whatever. Meeks usually slept most of the time because
I did.
How different was that? You said that was borrowed from Georgia. How different was that from what you did at Ohio State?
Same. And that's why, like, when I first got here, it felt very similar because obviously Coach Fran coming from Georgia has that same championship mindset where you expect to win every game. So there's a lot of similarities between what we did there and then what Coach Fran brought over here from Georgia.
We talk about college football now. Obviously, it's a different world, different landscape. Holiday Bowl, I want to ask you guys about, because you looked across college football, opt-outs here, opt-outs there. None of you guys opted out. What was that process like? What were the decisions that were made, the conversations that were had? And I see some fingers pointing.
it was on him.
I was just trying to make it suspenseful.
we all decided that like whatever he did, we were gonna do because if the quarterback's not playing, then like, you know, and decide to opt out, then we were all gonna do the same and follow suit. You know, the quarterback's leader of the team, and we decided we were gonna do whatever he did. He wanted to take mad long to decide.
Nah, I just wanted to make sure we got into a good bowl game. I don't know. But yeah, no, we got a good bowl game. And then we were doing, I remember I still hadn't like, I knew I was playing, but I still hadn't like verbally announced it. Like the coaches, everybody knew I was playing. And we did like a Christmas charity event at the telethon with the Salvation Army. And so they had like the live news going there. And the lady was like, I'm just gonna ask you about the season, like just kind of recap it. You know, the fans want to hear it, all that. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And so we're doing the whole interview. It's live. Like there's no like cut, edit, anything. We're going through it. It's fine. Like she's asking about the Miami game because obviously we just came off that. And then she's like, all right, last question. I have to ask. Everybody wants to know. And I knew exactly where it was going. And I was like, all right, like, I guess. And then, so she asked if I was playing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play. And then it was funny, like right after that interview ended, like the phone started ringing like crazy at the telethon thing. But it was funny. But yeah, I mean, if I was going to play, that's kind of what it seemed like everybody else was. So to go out and get that 10th win and finish the year the right way, especially with the senior group, I think was important for us.
Those 10 wins was definitely important.
We were playing for something else.
Yeah, I was about to say, selfishly though, I needed that 1,000. I needed that 1,000.
That matters though, yeah.
Because honestly, it was the prove it to my teammates. Because when I first came in, I like to talk mess. Like JB, like me and JB are always arguing. We always like talking mess, whether it's about who's better at college football or who's faster or like who, like whatever it is. We always talking mess. And I realized I had to bring that energy up here because that's how they are up north. Like they cutthroat. They gonna say what they think. So before the season, I was telling them like, man, I'm gonna get 1,000 yards. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So it was honestly to prove to my teammates that I was gonna do what I said I was gonna do. But nah, like Kyle said, most definitely, it was definitely for the 10th win and just, to go out there one more time with my brothers.
After every drive, he would come up to me like, I'm 57 yards away.
And then, like,
How did you know? How are you checking?
I was stressing.
iPads, looking at the
So,
scoreboards.
before the game, I needed 89 yards. So I tally every catch I had, I tally it up. Okay, that was a 23-yard catch. All right, come on. I need 75 yards.
Oh
and then
my
Kyle, and then it was one drive. Kyle threw it. It threw it to me like 3 times. I only caught one. I was sick after the drive. I was like, bro. It was like the third quarter. So I was like, bro. I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. Like Kyle, like, bro, chill, bro. Like I got you. Like you're good. Chill. But nah, man, I was stressing that game more than happy.
It's honestly impressive after, possibly one of the worst fall camps of all time. Can we talk about that?
We can.
Because they're gonna think I'm just being mean, but it's the truth.
No, go ahead. Go from your perspective.
No, I
first.
want to hear you say it because if I tell the story, it's mean.
All right. So fall camp. I came in from having a great spring. I think I had probably like maybe one drop, one incompletion in the spring. That was my fault. But fall camp, like first week and a half, I was good. I was Jackson. And then some other dude came out. I think it was like 7th, 8th practice. I don't know who that was, but bro, I was dropping everything. Like, I'm talking about, it's a wide, like, it's from me to Marlowe. And I'm looking, like, I'm really looking at my hands, because Fran told me, don't look at your hands, it's you. But nah, yeah, it was probably the worst fall camp it's most definitely the worst fall camp I've ever had. And at the beginning of the season, I didn't start the first 3 games. So from that fall camp, the way my coach was, he was playing who was hot, he was playing who was producing. And first 3 games, man, I wasn't starting. I was just getting my plays, rotating in. And I think it was the end of the Stanford game, they moved me to X for like the last 3 drives, and the offense was moving a little bit better. And the next week, they gave me the opportunity to play the X, and I think that was the Holy Cross game, and it just took off from there. But yeah, that was
Honestly impressive after that.
Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you.
A couple things you got.
Compliment ever.
Okay. This is just me sharing now. A couple things you guys mentioned. Marlowe coming back for the Pitt game. That was, I think, just before I started working here, but as an alum, I'm following everything. I've told Kyle some of this stuff too. I'm scrolling through Twitter. I'm like, Marlowe's in pads today? And I'm like, this is crazy. He's back already, all this stuff. Obviously, the game didn't go how we wanted it to go, but I remember that moment. The telethon, I'm not pointing at you because it's on you. I'm not saying that. The telethon, similar situation. We're all in the office. Like, is he going to play? How's that going to impact everybody else, whatever? I'm in there like, we got the interview after the Connecticut game, interview after the Miami game. I'm like, maybe I'm going to hit him up and maybe he'll tell me, I'll put it out there. It'll be a good interview. I'm watching News Channel 9. Kyle, yeah, I'm going to play in the game. This is how we revealed it. Everybody in Central New York is waiting on pins and needles, and yeah, I'm going to play in the game. So
Yeah.
that was my gripe there. And then
Yeah, you could drop a little graphic.
I'm home. At that point, everybody, as I'm sure you guys too, college football 25, everybody's excited, the game's back, everything. I'm like, they got the Georgia transfer here. He like at 81. I keep moving you up to wide receiver 1 in the game. I kept moving you. And then like first couple of games, like, where's Meeks at? Why is he not playing? But you came on though. You came on though. So
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I had him on my bench.
Hey, so I ain't played for it was Z, Treb, and I think
Mari
played for me. I ain't played myself.
You didn't play yourself?
I had straight speed in there.
What was that like for you guys? You're the first group that the game is back for. How incredible of an experience
Dream
is that?
come true, man.
I was pissed.
I didn't care what
bro,
overall.
they did me so dirty.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't care what overall I was. I was just happy to be there, like, cause I'm a game freak. Like, I love playing video games. Game freak.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
I've never heard anyone.
Y'all never heard of game
A
freak?
gamer?
A game freak?
I
Y'all
love
never
playing
heard that?
video games.
I love video games though, to say it that way. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man, I was just
Something
happy to
wrong
be
with
there.
him.
I didn't care what overall I was. I was just happy to see my name in a video game, man. And,
But it's good you
it
didn't
was
care because
cool.
you were 71 anyway.
Say it again.
No, you didn't have a choice. No, I was mad because I was actually happy at first because I was a 90. And then I switched positions to linebacker. and I
then the
dropped
Reigns got
5
realistic.
overall.
Yeah.
And you
they
said
were
what?
good. Nothing.
Okay.
The Reigns got realistic.
They started watching the film.
You laughing?
That was fake.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
really.
Okay.
They did my speed credit on that though.
No, they
It
didn't.
gave me an 80.
Never mind. You right. You right. You right.
Bro, they gave him a hit sticking ability, bro. They did. Because what he did last year, why they?
What ability they give you?
Nothing.
Brick hands?
You line up on punt, he's got the little star around him.
Hey, impact player, man. Impact player.
There was a moment, Kyle, talking about you in these interviews, and now there's been a few iconic moments. There was a moment when you were, shall we say, exploring maybe the extra year of eligibility.
Yeah.
And you had the infamous smirk on the radio show.
Another one, yeah.
You ultimately decided to declare for the draft. What went into that decision-making process?
I mean, I was obviously like I don't even know if I never heard back from the NCAA about it, about the appeal if I got it or not. But I was gonna leave regardless. So I was out in California. I figured I might as well start training if I'm gonna go to the draft, and then if not, then I'll just get a week of training and then come back to Syracuse for the start of the off season. So I was going back and forth, talking to some agents and, just kind of talking to coaches, whatever. And then I was talking to Fran on the phone. We were going back and forth. And, I mean, he ultimately was like, listen, if I'm you, I'm leaving. He's like, after what you did, yeah, I'm gone. And he, just hearing your head coach tell you that, kind of made my decision a lot easier. And I was like, all right, if Fran's telling me I need to go, then I got to listen. I got to go. Got to go declare. And so ended up, I think I announced it the next day. It was a pretty quick turnaround after that. But I mean, I think for me, it was not an easy decision because of how much fun I had here, how much I enjoyed playing here, and I think if things went differently and the season didn't go as well as it did, then I probably wouldn't have wanted to come back. But just how much fun I had, I think was a big reason why I was thinking about it.
We could talk a little bit more about Miami game. Obviously, you see it here on the screen. How big of a moment did this feel like for all you guys?
Man, I feel like I already hit on it a little bit. That was my first time, field storm, playing a top-ranked opponent, actually having a pivotal role in the game. It was a great game, man. I ain't never gonna forget that game.
For me personally, just for being here so long, and that being my last game in the Dome, and our first year going 1-10, and then ending it off like that, beating the highest ranked team. That's the highest ranked win I ever had, and just winning that in the last game in the Dome is just crazy. And just us from the first half being down, 21, and then coming all the way back like that.
Biggest comeback program history.
Yeah, biggest comeback program history. I mean, everything, honestly.
How about you, JB?
Same thing as Low. I mean, I couldn't have said it more perfectly. It's going from 1-10 and, really having the lowest of lows that freshman year in 2020 and COVID with no fans in the Dome, traveling every week and then just getting whooped. To, sticking it out and hanging with my guys and going 10-3 that last year and finishing off with a field storm. We had one against NC State 2 years ago with Garrett and McHale and Burge and those dudes, but, that was in the middle of the season. And you don't know where the season's going to go after that, so having one at the end of the season was pretty special.
Yeah, I think just obviously the year before the last game of the year, losing that one and, everything that transpired after it, and then fast forward and pretty much exactly a year later to end the season off like that was pretty special. And to put ourselves in a position to go get that 10th win in the bowl game and to be ranked and all that, everything that we were working for, to see that come true in that game, and to send guys like JB and Marlowe and OG, LaQuinn, guys who have been here for a lot of time, for that to be their last game in the Dome and go out like that was pretty special.
Fast forward a little bit. Appreciate you guys going back on that. What has this pre-draft process been like for all of you?
I would say, honestly, not necessarily stressful, but at first it was like, dang, am I gonna get an invite to the Shrine Bowl? And I got that, so I was happy about that. And then now it's like, damn, I'm gonna get an invite to the Combine. Didn't get an invite to the Combine. And then it was like, dang, am I gonna be able to actually perform how I want to at Pro Day? And it was just always thinking about the next thing. And honestly, you just had to be where your feet were at. Like, you couldn't really stress about the uncontrollables. Like, it's a lot of stuff you can't control. And it was a great experience, though. I met a lot of good people, made some more like good connections that I could like keep with me throughout the years. And honestly, man, I wouldn't change it though, like, because everything happens for a reason. And I was very appreciative of just being able to train for the stuff I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. So, yeah.
How about you, Kyle?
It's been a grind for sure. It's definitely a lot different than the college off season because you're sort of isolated, you know, outside of the few guys that are, you know, training with you out wherever you are. And so it's definitely a grind, and you know, it's more kind of in-depth, position-specific stuff that you're doing. But it's been fun. And like you said, you just have to be where your feet are and control what you can control. And I think it's easy to look ahead at the draft and, you know, think that, you know, you have to do everything in your power to get drafted as high as you can. In a way you do, but at the same time, like it's out of your control where you get picked. So just trying to enjoy it, take advantage of every day, and, you know, not look ahead too far, and, you know, just, you know, continue to kill each opportunity you get.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a grind, both mentally and physically. Every day it's kind of cookie cutter. You know, it's rinse and repeat, and you wake up and do the same thing every day. I was really grateful that, you know, Marlowe and I had the opportunity to train together. So, you know, that was helpful for me and my mental, and having someone that, you know, I can call my brother down there with me to, you know, kind of push me. And, you know, hopefully I did the same thing for him. But, you know, that was really helpful for me having him down there.
For me, definitely a grind. Me personally, I feel as though been a little slighted a little bit, but that's just the competitiveness in me. Like Meeks talking about, just again, wasn't really invited to no games or anything like that. Combine also, so that was definitely hitting me mentally. I feel as though with the resume I've had and stuff like that, but it's also just hitting off what Meeks saying, just being where your feet are, and me just being a huge believer, and with my faith, just trusting him and all of it, and also just controlling what I can control, and just staying locked in and staying focused on that. Like, there was times in my training where in the beginning, when all the invites and all that stuff was going out, I feel like JB knew I was a little frustrated, and like he always is that guy. You know, everybody know JB. He's always the guy that's just up and always just talkative.
Except for Meeks.
But that's why JB always messing with people. He's just always trying to bring the mood up in the room. So he definitely helped me with that, and just make sure I was staying locked in and continue to push me and stuff like that.
Who are some of the NFL players you guys have looked up to throughout your lives, maybe even some that you've tried to model a little bit of your game after?
I always give my 5, and my first one, everybody's always surprised from it. But Stevie Johnson from the Bills era, he's a big receiver. He was real smooth, and he was the only one that gave Revis that year. He gave him 102 games. So I watch him a lot. Andre Johnson, because, you know, he was a bully. He was 50-50 ball guy. I watch Devontae a lot for his releases and like his routes, and he changes tempo a lot because he's not a blazer. He's not gonna run past you. He has to create separation with like his mind and with his feet and like with his body control. And then my old teammate George, like, of course there's some stuff George do you just can't coach, but a lot of the stuff he does, like the body control in the air and mid-air while he's trying to, you know, fight for the ball, making sure he's boxing the cornerback out to where only he can catch it, and if he doesn't catch it, it's an incompletion. Just like small stuff like that, and I take a little bit from everybody's game and try to apply it to mine, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be them. They're not gonna be me. And yeah, those are some of the people I look up to.
Kyle?
I like watching Barrow a lot. Joe Burrow's probably my favorite right now to watch. I like watching Stafford too. And then playing with CJ for 2 years, seeing the success that he's had has been pretty cool. So I'd probably say those would be the top 3 right now that I've been watching the most.
No Big Ben?
No. Why, you think I play like him?
Really depends on what position I'm watching. You know, I feel like every linebacker is going to say Fred Warner, but it's hard not to when he's so good at everything he does, coverage-wise, run game-wise. Especially for me, with him having the background of moving down from safety to being a box backer now, it's important to see the translation of how he can fit in the NFL. Someone else I like to watch too is Kyle Hamilton. You know, just because of his size and his ability to roll down into the box and make plays there, but also be in the post and play sideline to sideline. And that's just 2 of them, name a few. Obviously, like all the coverage stuff, I like watching Garrett, who went here just because like he's a technician. And, you know, and I say that and I mean it. I don't just say it because he went here, but like if you really watch him and watch how he covers people, it's an elite level, so.
For me, somebody, we all know Zaire. That's a guy. A lot of people, since I've walked through these doors, they say I remind them of him. So he also was down in Tampa with us. So, and we've been talking a lot. We always chop it up. I'm always texting him, asking him questions and things like that. And it's crazy. Like right now, the way my process is going right now for the pre-draft, his kind of went the same exact way. So that's a reason why right now we've been talking a lot more. But of course, if it's linebacker, you gotta love watching Fred. Fred he's crazy right now. He's doing it all. But also, I like to go back. To me personally, I feel like greatest all the time is Luke Kuechly. The way he just did everything. He did it every single thing at a high level, and he did it for a short span of years in the league. So, for sure.
He's still gonna get a gold jacket. He should get a gold jacket. Let me say that.
What are your plans for draft day? Where will you be? Who will you be with? What's going on for that
In
day?
the Boondocks, Alabama.
Not gonna be able to
No
watch the draft.
service. They're gonna be like, we can't.
What if you get the call? It's not going to go through.
I'm seeing on TV.
He's gonna have one of the.
I gotta have a landline.
Landline.
Yeah, landline.
So you'll be home.
Yeah, I ain't gonna have no. I'm probably not gonna have no party, nothing like that. I'll probably have my friends, probably just a few of my friends over, some of my teammates that is already there. They're gonna be there, and yeah.
I'm just gonna be home, small, close friends and family. That's it. Like I don't need somebody I haven't seen in like 8 years looking over my shoulder trying to see who's calling me and all that. So just a small little group.
Yeah, very similar for me. I already told my pops, I was like, I don't want your friends there. You know how he gets, he brings all his friends to the games. But nah, it's just gonna be a little small group, me and my friends. Probably some of the dudes from Cuse will try and drive down, so it'd be nice to have some of them there, because it's only a short drive away. But yeah, just keep it nice and close, small knit group.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Back home,
You're gonna have a party.
I get a lot of love back home, so it's a lot of people that has already been hitting me up trying to see what I'm going to do, but I need to figure it out myself. I don't know if I'm trying to have a whole lot of people because I don't know how that day going to go.
Run out a restaurant.
Yeah, and I'm a hate, bro. I'm a hate, God forbid. But if I go undrafted and all my family and stuff trying to ask me questions, I'm gonna end up because somebody like, bro, get out my face. like I don't want to talk. Like
They don't understand, bro.
They don't
They
get
don't
the
know how it
stress,
is.
bro. Yeah. That's why I'm only gonna have a small amount of people there that understand however it goes. That's how it's gonna be. So,
It's only like 15 people in the town you live in anyway.
exactly. Exactly.
They all his cousins.
They always got I was waiting on somebody.
Who's somebody in the league currently that you're most looking forward to playing against?
G-Dub.
Tariq Woolen.
I'm gonna whoop him.
Tariq Woolen.
Cause I was down there training at XPE, and I was talking to him. I was talking to him a lot down there, but bro, he walked in. At first, I didn't realize it was him, bro. He walked in. I'm talking about he's like 6'6". Like he has to be 6'6". And I'm like, bro, you really play corner? And he's like, yeah, da 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 da. But nah, he's super tall, and I want to what's the name? I want to be able to compete against him.
You were fanboying?
Nah, bro, I was just talking to him, bro. Jameer Gibbs was down there too.
There's no way you're 6'6".
I didn't say that to him, bro. Like, come on now.
I got you.
Yeah.
They messed with you.
Nah, I know they messing with you, bro. Nah, it's Like, he's tall.
But
though.
and
Like,
he's
bro,
one of the
I'm
best.
telling
He's
you,
one of the
like,
best in the league right now.
If you
too.
stood there next to him, bro, he's like 6'6", bro.
That's all he wants.
And he's one of the best in the league right now.
I'm not even over exaggerating. I promise you I'm not, bro.
How about for you?
I'm trying to pick off Kyle McCord. I'm trying to sack him too. I'm trying to talk some talk.
Throw the ball at him.
There you go. That's a great answer. JB?
To play against on the offense side of the ball, probably Meeks. No, I don't.
It's gonna be ugly.
I won't
for
be
you.
in the CFL. No, I'm
It's
playing.
gonna be ugly for you.
That's what Kyle's joke to me always is. No, probably one of those big backs.
You don't want to
know.
see Derrick Henry for real, bro.
Nah, they better draft me so I don't got to tackle him. Nah, or Tuck or Burge, like any of the guys that I've played with, to be able to play against them would be pretty cool.
I'm gonna say Fidel. I mean, Fidel in practice, the thing about practice, obviously, they can't hit me. Like, I'll throw the ball out, and then like a second later, he'll come up and he's like, "Oh, I would have sacked you right there." So, I mean, when we finally play each other, I guess we'll really see. Yeah, every play's a sack with Fidel. So, yeah, no, we'll see in real life.
Obviously, this era, you told the story before about the quarter system, right? This era of college football is a little different. You guys have had NIL, had a chance to make some money, but have you thought about what you'll do with that first NFL paycheck?
Car.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
Get a
I'll lease me a car. I'm probably not gonna pay it off right away, but I'll lease a car.
Everybody know I need some wheels.
You can use the car that you're using in Tampa.
No, I need. I need.
What you driving in Tampa?
I know I was driving something bad.
What were you driving in Tampa?
No, we ain't gonna talk.
Tell me you're driving a little bug, bro.
No.
No way, it's a Prius.
Oh, how do you guess that?
Say no, but no, yeah, I need something nice though, for sure.
All right, what car y'all
He
get?
had to open the sunroof to drive.
What car y'all gonna get?
I don't know yet.
What you got? You know you got your eye on something
I don't
already.
know yet, bro.
He's gonna get
What
a
about you,
Hellcat.
JB?
Heck no.
Heck no.
What about you? A Raptor? Bro, I want one of those, like they got like the old Hummers. I think they're like starting to make them again.
The gas guzzlers.
Yeah, but I want like a Hummer or one of those Broncos. I like
Two
those
very
type of
different cars.
Yeah. I know, but they kind of like, they got the same
My first purchase, I want to get a membership at like a nice golf course. That's a great answer.
To hit 20 over par. He's
Yeah.
gonna hit 20 over par.
Yeah, no, I need a swing coach first. That's a swing coach and then membership at a
Membership
golf
at the course
Yeah.
and some
lessons. Yeah. No, I'm self-made.
What's one lesson that you've learned from your time here in Syracuse that you know will help you throughout your career and throughout life?
Seeing it through. It got pretty muddy in the middle of it, in the beginning of it. When I first, I committed. They had that really good season. It was the last 10-3 season. It was the year I committed. So I thought I was just going to come in and we were going to keep it rolling. And, it's not really how it went. So being able to see it through and stick it out and, kind of ride that wave of emotions that came along with it and being able to come out on top was really important.
I would say just being yourself. Like, don't ever try to be something that you're not. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, no matter how big the stage is, how bright the lights are, like, it's football at the end of the day. And I think you got to strip away everything else and just go out and have fun and compete. And I feel like that's like exactly what I did here. Like, I had a lot of fun playing this year. It felt like high school football all over again, like out there with your boys playing and just letting it fly. So just continuing to have that same mindset at the next level.
I say bet on yourself, man. Trust yourself. Cause like everybody know how my story went, and I took a gamble, and I bet on myself, and
You needed a great quarterback.
I had a great
I'm
quarterback.
playing.
I ain't never gonna knock him for that. I hate to his face, but honestly, he is a great quarterback, and that made it easier. But yeah, just being able to have faith in yourself, and if you know you're capable of something, don't let nobody tell you that you're not.
Same thing. Mine's with some of the. Just seen JV get pancaked. He just got pancaked on the screen.
It's a flag.
But
Hold on, time out, bro. There's a flag. Is there not?
You still got pancakes.
Okay. Play
But,
came back. Thank you.
Similar to Kyle, just have fun with it, man. Just through all the ups and downs, remember that it's a game that you've been playing since you was young, since you've been doing this your whole life. And also just as you're having fun with it, remember just continue to put your best self out there every single time.
One of my last questions here. I want you guys to all put yourself in the position of a scout right now. GM asks you for the scouting report on the guy next to you. So we'll go Jackson, Kyle, Jackson, JB, Marlowe, vice versa.
So you want me to scout
Do a
Kyle?
circle.
Oh, yes.
Let's do a circle. Feel free to give a report on anybody
I'm gonna go
in this
one by
room.
one.
Give
I'm
me
gonna go first.
anyone can give one, you can give three. Give me a scouting report. I'm a GM. I'm like, I want to know what's up with this guy.
I'm going to start with Marlowe. Marlowe, instinctual linebacker, plays well in space, has good ball skills for a linebacker, knocks size, so he plays well sideline to sideline. What else? He did recently have an injury, so we still want to see how he looks back from that injury. And yeah, JB, undersized safety.
Undersized safety?
I mean oversized safety, undersized linebacker is what I meant. You know what I meant, punk. What else?
He giving he want to keep his scouting job.
Me, undersized linebacker. Again, plays well in space, instinctual, has a knack for the ball.
He's battled through adversity.
Great adversity. He's a leader.
What are you talking about?
Leader. What else? Very smart. Smart linebacker. He's going to be able to control the whole defense. Yeah, done with him. Kyle.
You better be kind here.
Throws in anticipation. He has great arm angles. Yeah. Throws with touch. Smart, of course. Yeah.
Who might give mine on? JB?
Anybody
Everybody.
want?
Do everybody.
I'll do Jackson. Needs to play with an elite quarterback. Doesn't create separation. 4.9 speed.
4.56. Go ahead. Continue though. It's on tape.
All right. No, I'm playing. I would say physical receiver, super competitive, great with contested catches, and a really good feel for the game. Like there was a lot of plays last year where it's not necessarily how you draw it up on paper, but you know, I would always tell them just trust your eyes and we'll be on the same page. So I'd say that shows up a lot on film. With Marlowe, I would say really the quarterback of the defense. You know, from my experience being here, like he was always the super vocal on defense, kind of the guy that everybody turned to. I think just a very instinctual player. And I think like you turn to the film for the last 4 years, like he's been making plays regardless of what system he's in. And I think that's going to bode for him well when he gets to the next level, playing in the 3-3-5 and then last year. And then with JB, I think, you know, you can put him anywhere. I mean, played receiver, played safety, played in the box this year. And has excelled at every one of those positions. And when Marlowe went down, I think he kind of took over that vocal role of the defense, which was huge for us. And in that stretch when Marlowe wasn't playing, I think he was definitely the glue on defense, not only playing a different position coming down the box, but at the same time being the leader. So I think for both of them, going through that adversity is going to help them at the next level for sure.
For me, for JB, rangy guy, a guy that you can be comfortable putting him out there in space. Are you staring at me like that?
You better not say no bullshit.
No, for real, a guy that's going be a hard person to scheme against. Also, like Kyle said, put him in a box. He's going to be able to deal with all the O-linemen and all the run fits, be great in that. And also out there in space, no receiver can block him one-on-one, no tight end can block him. Meeks, very competitive.
Why you laughing? I want my real. I don't want all the nice shit. I want my real scout report. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Very competitive. Let me think. 50-50 guy. He's getting it. So it's more like a 60-40. Great route runner. I mean, probably the best blocking receiver on any team. And he's going to get drafted too. And yeah, Kyle.
No knocks, bro. Need the negative side too.
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I don't want the nice
I don't
stuff.
know
want
no
the
knocks,
negative
bro.
stuff.
That's good. That's good. We'll use the good stuff. We ain't put anything bad out. I want that to be clear.
Kyle, first great leader. I was surprised. I knew he was going to be a good leader, but surprised how good of a leader he was and how vocal he was. Confident, everything he does. Trusts his receivers. Can throw the ball in any spot. And also, I love that this year he was more confident in his legs. He ran a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Get out of there.
Got up, yeah. My turn. Who wants to go first? Marlowe. Vocal leader on and off the field. Locker room falls in love with him, no matter what team he'll be on.
Yes, you do.
Huh?
Yes, you fall in love.
All right, next. Meeks. No, saying that. He can play inside between the tackles and outside the perimeter. More athletic than a lot of people give him credit for. And his ability to make plays in space is underappreciated, as he's been doing his whole career. Meeks, like Marlowe said, people call it a 50-50 ball, but it's really a 60-40 ball with Meeks. And his willingness to block is what makes him a good blocker. It literally has nothing to do with anything else other than his want to. And he gives his quarterbacks reliable targets whenever they need to get out of trouble. Kyle was very pleasantly surprised with his ability to lead vocally and by example when he came in. He's got a lot more upside than people give him credit for with his legs and his ability to maneuver around a pocket and escape a pocket and extend plays, not only to run but to create more in the pass game. And I don't think there's any quarterbacks in the draft who can do everything that he does better than him.
Also, Meeks, I give you a flower. You was clutch too, bro. You got that clutch gene. You came up
Yeah,
clutch.
he does have a clutch.
Came up
gene,
clutch
so.
in a few games this year, bro.
Last question. What about Syracuse will always feel like home?
People,
it's
people
the
in the
people.
locker room.
People.
It's definitely the people. I was just saying this the other day. Syracuse is you don't come to Syracuse to go on vacation. You come for the people. Like you come for, to see JB, to see Coach Fran, to see Coach Hicks, to see the people who you made memories with that made the town so special. That's what makes Syracuse special. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's the people that I'm gonna miss for sure.
Yeah, I was training in Southern California, kind of in LA, and I was talking to JB when we were playing the game together. And we were out there. I was like, I can't wait to get back to Syracuse. 65 and sunny, all that's nice, but just being around the people is what I'm looking forward to most. So yeah, I think regardless of wherever I end up at the next level, I'm super excited to always come back here and get inside the dome and watch the team play and just it feels like home up here now.
Well, it's my home. I've been here for a while, so met a lot of people, met brothers. Also, it's just a place I'm always going to be. And also, it's people outside the building that's going to be in my life, moving forward. Just talking about people helping me out with all my personal stuff and stuff like that, and also from my girlfriend up here. So I feel that's going to be.
It's good brownie points right there. It's good brownie points.
That's it. Works for me. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing this.
Appreciate you.
Good stuff. All right, that's a wrap.